A blonde woman was driving down the road one day speeding, and a police officer who just happened to be blonde came up behind her and started blowing her, turned on her lights and made her siren go. Finally, the blonde pulled over. The blonde police officer walked up and said, "Ma'am, may I see your license?" She said, "Well, what does it look like?" And she started going through her glove compartment. He said, "Wait, by the way," she said, "your picture's on it." And she's going through her glove compartment, can't find it. Goes through her purse, can't find it. Finally comes upon a mirror. She holds up the mirror. She sees herself, so she gives it to the police officer. The police officer says, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't know you were a police officer. I wouldn't have pulled you over."
Oh,
All right. By the way, I'm blonde too, so I can tell that joke. What I'd like to cover today are a bunch of things. We're going to get into settings and do some more looking at not all the settings, just some of the basic ones. Three of the ones I'd like to spend a little more time on are notifications, wallpaper, and control center. Okay? And if we have time, we may get into something called widgets. So any questions from last time? Anyone? None?
Mine got solved Wednesday.
Good. Oh, at the
Battery,
Jim,
yellow battery.
oh, yes, that's right. All right. So let's get started, everyone. I'm going to switch my screen. Oh, by the way, tip of the day. Let me get to that. You want to know what a home screen looks like? That was pretty full, I'd say. All right.
Beautiful picture.
that is beautiful.
That's Vermont.
Ooh,
Okay. You see the bridge?
yes.
Yeah. What I want to do is put my phone up there.
Should we send me requests? Struggle Israel Christina.
Let's talk.
And my iPad? No, is that what you're seeing? My phone and my iPad? Yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
yes, yes.
And there's nothing else on the screen like a bar of any kind, like this bar. That's not on the screen.
No.
Okay.
Just telling everyone about my man beard hairs.
I'm going to mute everyone.
Oh my God, you are not. I did, I told them. We all have these struggles, you know. I'm sure the universal struggle. I believe so.
Sounds like somebody's radio is on or TV is on.
I know. I'm going to mute everyone.
You're having a great day.
That took care of it. Okay. First, the tip of the day is prevent websites from tracking you. When you go to particular websites, many of them, they monitor what you're doing on their website so that the next time you go back, they know you, and they perhaps have advertisements relating to what you did the last time you were on the site. And what I'm going to do is I'll do it on the iPhone, right? And to change those, the way in which a website tracks you is you go ahead and you click on settings. Right? You go to, there's a couple of ways to do it. I'm going to show you one that gives you the most flexibility. You go to Safari. You scroll down in the Safari menu, clear to the bottom where it says Advanced. Go ahead and click on Advanced.
Where is the Safari? And also your audio sounds kind of like you have something or other, it isn't clear, let's put it that way.
Are you the only one that's having that issue, Eddie, folks?
It's clear to me.
Mine's fine.
Did you say it was clear to you or not?
I said it was clear to me.
Okay,
Mine is clear.
Okay, thank you.
all right, who knows what's going on here, but thank you. Where was the Safari again?
Safari is in settings.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the same group as that starts with password. So it's quite a ways down in the passwords list
Ah, okay,
where it says Safari.
yes, thank you.
Scroll to the bottom of the Safari and it says Advanced. You tap Advanced. Okay. And then you tap Website Data. Okay. Now here's all the websites that are what would like to track you. All the ones I've been to recently. You tap Edit, and you can turn any one of them off.
I don't know why I'm having such a hard time finding things today. Okay, I'm on Safari.
Scroll to the bottom.
Oh, privacy? Okay.
If you're
Privacy,
in,
I'm
um,
sorry.
if you're in Safari, which is what
Uh-huh.
I'm at, so you notice at the top of the screen it says Safari.
Yes,
Then I scroll clear down to where it says Advanced.
oh, advanced, okay, thank you.
Okay. And then Website Data. And then Edit. And then you can remove any one of these, say don't track me.
Bill,
I
is it
wanna-
possible to have nothing there? Mine just says website data 0 bytes.
Good. That's because you did something else. Okay, so you can remove individual websites. Now that's kind of cumbersome. Is
If
that
we don't know
correct?
what they are,
Exactly.
should we go ahead and delete them?
All right. What I'd like you to do now is, since we don't be able to see what those are all about, go back to where it says settings at the top of the screen by hitting the back arrow at the top. So it says settings at the top. And then tap Safari again. And then go down that list. Not to the bottom this time, but to a place where it says clear history and website data. And go ahead and tap that.
Bill, is it possible that ours doesn't say that because we have an
No.
old model?
No, it's not possible.
You get to the Safari page. Do you go to another page before you do?
No, no. Here's the Safari page, right? It says Safari at the top of my screen. If I
Yeah.
scroll down far enough, well, it might not be in blue, it might be gray. It says clear history and website data.
Wait, where does that say that? I don't find it.
Right here.
It took me a while too, Jim. And you go to settings and you hit Safari and you're looking on the Safari side.
I don't see that.
You don't see clear history and website data?
No,
Yes,
no, I do not see that.
Okay,
it's not in black, it's in blue.
it might be in gray.
Okay, Bill, after you hit Safari, what do you do next?
Scroll down to where you see clear history and website data.
Okay, I see it.
There you go. You go ahead and tap that. And that clears all the history and website data that is on your phone.
It says also, do you want to close the tabs? Do
That's correct.
you click close tabs?
Sure. I'm looking for another item there.
Hit the clear history. I got another little block that said clearing will remove history, clear history and data, and cancel.
Correct. Pardon me?
So if we do this, do we have to continually do it or does it turn it off forever?
No, you have to continually do it. Now, this is your phone saving the data, not the website you go to.
When you get to the page that has the clear history and website data on it, click that.
Go
What do
ahead.
you do next?
Tap it. And then it will say, so that's eliminating all the cookies that have been saved on your device. How many people out there know what a cookie is?
Before you get into cookies, can you tell me because I just caught up with you. Do you want to close all tabs? And did you say yes or no? Keep tabs or
Yes.
close?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yeah, you want to close all tabs. You just tap it.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Would you check request websites not to track you? There's a setting for that somewhere.
Sure.
Request website.
Could you check where that is?
I have request desktop website.
Unless maybe you know.
This is gonna do that.
This thing that on, I see below the clear history and website data, which I hit on. I have
Right.
settings for websites and then share across devices that's turned on.
No,
Should I-
no, not on there, but I'm looking for request sites. You know, for example, Google tracks you. They know if you go to maps, they track where you've been, and you can request them not to do that.
You're not looking for a request desktop website, are you?
No. Okay. Well, I was trying to find that. I'd
It
like to move
says-
on.
It says open Safari, click on privacy and then select ask websites not to track.
Open Safari and settings. Is that where we are? Yep. Well, no, or is it the privacy and settings?
It's in privacy.
Okay,
Is it about search suggestions, search and privacy?
just a minute. Privacy and security, Bill?
The thing just said, privacy. You got tracking in the second line down up there.
And it's that way, allow apps to request to track. And I have mine
Yeah.
turned off.
You have it off so that they're not allowed to request tracking.
Right,
Under
Okay.
privacy and security, I've got prevent cross-site tracking. And I've got that on. Is that what you're looking for?
no,
Okay.
If privacy and security section, if the items listed are checked as on, then that means it's functioning as it should.
okay, we're in, now let's get everybody
In-
together.
Under
In
the
settings-
settings in Safari, you have privacy and security.
No, I'm
and
not
there-
in settings. Safari? Settings Safari is not. There is no such place as settings and then Safari.
So how did you get to privacy and security? What is it under?
Want to get everybody together. It's
I
on,
don't think we are.
I'm looking at the settings menu. And it says privacy and security. We tap privacy and security and then tracking. And we don't want to allow apps to request to track you.
Where is the privacy and security?
It's in settings.
Right, I'm in settings.
Let me spend a little time on settings menu. Just the menu itself. Okay?
All right,
At the top of the settings menu is your name.
Mhm.
And then there's a group. Then there's a group, airplane mode through, if you have a phone, personal hotspot. And then there's another group starting with notification and then ending on screen time. And then there's another group starting with general, big group, and then ending in privacy and security.
oh,
Then there's a group called Apple Store and Wallet. So they group them in what they think are homogeneous groupings. Then there's a group that starts with password and goes clear down to health. Then there's a group that starts with music and ends in games. It's a game center. Okay. TV provider. is a group all by itself. And then are all your applications in alphabetical order. In the settings that you may be able to set for each application. So for example, if I go to my application, Translate, does it have any settings for Translate? I tap it and it says, man, really not. Oh, background app refresh is turned on, so it will refresh when you started it, but it's in the background. But that's for Translate. So if you're working with a particular application, it would be listed here and you would be able to adjust the way the application functions. Some applications, you don't adjust anything. Let's see if night sky. Yeah, you can adjust something there.
Where did you
Um,
find applications?
I didn't find the word applications. What I'm saying is there's this huge group in my phone, starting with 4 picks 1 word, is all, now you don't have that probably on your phone, are all the applications I have on my phone.
If you want to delete one of these that you have, you don't want it anymore, how do you go about getting rid of it? If you don't have the icon on your phone, it's just in this list of stuff.
Let me write that down and I'll get back to it.
Thank you.
Is this list of apps what you put in there?
Trying to think. It may be just the apps you put in there. I'm checking, make sure I'm being, it doesn't contain the apps that are mentioned up above that. Like the music app has its own, that one's from Apple. Am I making sense to everybody?
I don't think I put all of those apps in there.
Well, they're there.
I look at mine and I put all of those in. You know, the
Okay.
ones I put in, every one of them. So I don't, that's probably what it's supposed to be, huh?
All right. So that's the organization of the settings menu. The top ones are the Apple ones broken into categories. And then after on my phone is TV provider on the iPad. Right? On the iPad, there is no TV provider.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. But after TV provider, it's all the other apps you have on your device and their related settings. And as I said, not all apps have something in the settings menu.
If you don't have a TV, do you have a TV provider on your phone?
How many of you do not have TV provider? Anybody?
I don't have a TV provider, Kathleen, and I do have TV provider on my phone.
Okay.
What does it say your TV provider is? As Bill says, his is Frontier, mine says Xfinity.
There's
Correct.
a whole choice of them. I have, since I haven't chosen anything, there's a whole choice. From Xfinity.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're paying for,
I do have it. Okay.
this is, if you're paying for a TV provider, I think it would be there. If you don't pay for one, it probably won't be anything there. All right.
Okay.
And since we're talking about apps, I will answer that question. How do you delete an app? And since it's right in line with what we're going to cover next. In the previous class, we talked about airplane mode, Wi-Fi, cellular. We talked about those features. I think we talked about sounds and haptics, didn't we? Did we talk about that last week?
Yes, we did.
Yes. Okay. And so what I want to start on today is something called general. Now, I'm not covering all the different items in settings. So I'm just going to go to general. And last time we talked about, we talked about, and it showed you some information about your phone or your iPad. How much stuff you had on it. How many songs, videos, photos, applications. What your capacity is and what your available, how much free space you have to put more stuff.
How did we get there? I typed general and I got, I don't know what, dictionary, keyboard.
Now you went one too far.
Oh,
You can
okay.
go up.
If you just tap general, that's what general has. And then I tapped on about within
Oh, I got
general.
it. Okay, thank you.
Mhm. There's one I've had, what's coverage? Oh, that's the Apple support coverage. Okay,
I found this on the web.
now if I hit the back arrow on general up there at the top, up here, I'm back in general settings. There's a feature called AirDrop. It's hard for me to demo that in our particular situation, but it's a capability of transferring information from one device to someone else's device when you're within about 60 feet of them, 30 to 60 feet, without having to send them messages or emails.
Bill, speaking of AirDrop, when I'm trying to drop to my own computer, I can't find it. I have, the AirDrop comes up with two other neighbors in the apartment building, and I don't want to send them what I'm trying to send to my computer. So,
I don't
how
think
do
you can. I don't know if you can AirDrop to your computer.
All right,
Usually that's transferred through the iCloud, something like that.
okay.
I assume we're talking about a Mac computer.
Yes, and it does. I mean, it does AirDrop sometimes, but when I want it to, that's when I end up with my neighbors.
So you can AirDrop to a Mac.
Yes,
It just doesn't list it when you go to do AirDrop.
no, sometimes it will transfer by AirDrop, and I'm not sure under what circumstances. And then when I actually want to AirDrop it someplace rather than emailing me or texting me, then it lists my neighbors.
And maybe your computer's not on, or I'm not sure why.
Okay,
No,
it is
as I said-
on.
How do you control who gets the AirDrop?
You do.
So if I hit AirDrop and you're nearby, I can send you a picture that I just took.
I'm going to demonstrate that in just watch the screen for a minute. Okay. In settings, you go to AirDrop to determine when you want to use AirDrop. You're not going to try to use AirDrop here. You're just going to determine when you want to use it. So I tap on AirDrop and it says, I can't receive anything. I can only get stuff from contacts, or I can AirDrop with everybody for 10 minutes. All right? So that determines who you can airdrop with. No one?
Question.
Contacts only, that's the person that's in your contacts that happens to be close to you, or everyone for 10 minutes. When I'm teaching a class, I say, do everyone for 10 minutes. So I'm going to do that. Okay? Now I'm going to get out of settings. I get out of settings, and I would like to send somebody a picture or a contact. Let me do pictures. I go to pictures. I'm going to select that picture. Okay, so I have a nice picture here. And you can't see it, but I have to, let me do it the other way. Let me do it on my iPad. I'm going to go to AirDrop on my iPad and do everyone. All right. The reason I'm doing it on my iPad so I can show you what happens. All right. I'll check the iPad now. All right. And I'm going to go to my pictures on the iPad. Soon I can find it. Where's my pictures?
Google
There we go.
Photos is there.
There they are. All right, and I'm going to go to recent, and I'm going to go down here. Well, let me go down here to just pick some pictures. Here. So I've got a nice picture here, and I'd like to send it to somebody. And this is what I see. Look at the phone right now. That's what I see. Right?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay.
Right? On the iPad, you see what's on my iPad. But if you see what I'm actually looking at, there's some controls up here and over here. Okay. And if I tap the share box, which is this guy up here, if I tap that, it comes up and gives me the word AirDrop. Aha. So I tap AirDrop, and it lists the people that are around me, one of which is my iPhone, which is the only one around me. All right.
Bill,
So
in,
that's how,
in everyday life, if it wasn't in a classroom situation like this, how would we ever have a need, or how would we want to use this?
well,
in
you're
normal-
sitting beside somebody at dinner and you said, I saw these wonderful things on my cruise, or you have a picture you want to share, or you want to share your contact or another person's contact with the person at the dinner table.
Instead of sending them a text or something.
Okay, so you don't need to be on a Wi-Fi network. Okay, and all you have to do is have Bluetooth turned on and Wi-Fi turned on. That's it. Most of us have that on most of the time. Anyway, and if I tap now you have control, right? Because there's me. I can send that to Bill. Bill gets a message on his iPhone. It has a picture, right? And it would say save it. I'm not going to save it again, but oh, I did save it again. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody?
I hate to ask you to do this, but would you go through that one more time?
I'm going to do it this time with a contact.
Good.
All right. So I go clear back. What do I got? I got to go to my camera. So I'm going to go clear back on my iPad to my contacts. Let me find my contacts. And I'd like to share my contact with somebody. Okay, so there I am. There's my contact information. And I scroll up and it says share contact down there. You see where it says share contact? So I'm going to share the contact. And there's AirDrop again. And I can AirDrop that to, now if I'm in a classroom, I would get 15 or 10 IDs here. Okay?
I see. Mhm.
And I could say, Martha, I'm going to give you my contact information, and I could tap on Martha. And she would get it. So if I tap on Bill's iPhone, it says waiting for Bill to respond, and then it comes up on my iPhone and says, you want this contact information, and they would tap save. All right,
One final question.
go ahead.
Under general AirDrop, you've got 3 choices, including
Yes.
receiving off. If I click that, I would not get anybody's AirDrops.
Correct.
Okay. So we can choose not to accept AirDrops.
When they send the AirDrop, you
Right.
have the option to accept it or not. You'll see it. It'll show you the picture. I'm not sure it shows you the picture before you have an option to save it. But I think it does.
Right. I understand that, but under general AirDrop, one of the choices that you keep checked, for instance, mine says contacts only or everyone for 10 minutes. The third choice is receiving off.
Correct. So you can choose not to want to receive any.
So if you're sitting at a table and you're trying to send a friend something and she's not getting it, she should check her receiving off, whether she's got that checked, right?
She should go to settings, general AirDrop, and make that adjustment.
Okay, thank you.
There used to be one that you could have it on for everybody all the time. And they got rid of that everybody all the time to everybody for 10 minutes.
Hey, Bill,
Say again?
why did you originate your picture from your iPad? Why didn't you just originate the picture from your iPhone?
Oh, I could have, Jim, either way. I was just trying to demonstrate so you could see the whole screen.
But as you were moving, as you were looking on your iPhone to get where you were going to send it, the picture on your iPad of the rose left.
No,
You
it
had not
didn't.
sent it.
No.
I think that's what he's talking.
The only reason that's a little confusing, isn't it?
Yes.
I was using my iPhone so you could see all the controls that show up on the iPad. All right, let me show you something.
First time you used it, your picture transferred
No.
to the phone.
Hold it. Don't worry about the transfer. I go to a picture here. Let me go to a picture. Okay. Strange houses, right? Somebody built their house on a water tower. Right, there's the picture, right? If I want to AirDrop that, there's no controls on what you can see. So you're not seeing my entire iPad.
Yeah.
So what I did was I got my phone and I said, you want to see all of it? Here's what it looks like. And up here, right? Well, let me do it with the pointer. Up
Your
here,
phone or your iPad.
I'm taking a picture of my iPad with the phone.
Oh.
The only
You've got
reason
your
I'm
phone
doing-
turned sideways.
That's
Looks like an
right.
iPad.
The only reason I'm doing that is so that you can see how I can. Wait a minute. Let me get this out of the way. you can see the little X here, or the little arrow. Well, here's the share box. You don't see that if you're just looking at my iPad, looking at a picture.
Bill, I am totally confused.
Yeah, me
I've
too.
got a picture on my iPhone from my photos, okay? And I want to airdrop it to you who are supposedly sitting next door.
Next to you, yes.
Next to you, but right. So so I can use airdrop. So it's in my phone, on my iPhone. The picture is there. And in the picture, there's nothing on the top that says anything. On the bottom, it's the share box, the heart, the eye, the edit, and the trash.
On your
What do
phone.
I do? On my phone, right? I
Right.
pick a picture.
Let me pick up a different picture on my phone, just so we are
Yeah,
demonstrating
yeah.
that. Okay.
Any picture.
Let me find a picture. Okay. There's a picture on my phone. Now,
Okay.
and everybody, you can only see the tree. You don't see the controls, right?
Well, how come I do then?
Because the way the program is working, it doesn't do it. It should, but it doesn't do it. My
What I'm
phone,
saying is I
my
picked
phone,
it.
and
Sorry.
the thing you see on your screen is the picture. The thing I see on my iPhone contains all that controls. It's just the program that I have to display what's on my phone doesn't pick up those controls.
Okay.
Is that making sense?
No,
So I have the share drop box on my phone. It's just you don't see it,
Understood.
okay?
No.
And so if you tap the share box, it doesn't do anything on what's being displayed, but that little airdrop icon shows up and I can do it. That's why I turned on the camera so I could take a picture of what I see is on the left. That's my iPad. What you see is just the picture. You don't see the controls top and bottom. Okay? Has nothing to do with AirDrop, that feature. Okay?
I don't follow her whatsoever.
Yes, that helps. And then when you airdrop a copy, it turns out to devices and Ross's iPad.
That's what you
That's
see.
the only thing close. But if
Right,
you were
and you
sitting
airdrop-
close, I would see you.
If I were sitting next to you, it would go to you. You could see my icon there as well.
And I would click on that and that would send it to you.
And then I would have to accept it.
Thank you.
Okay?
Have to be in a
Alright.
certain range, foot wise, distance wise, right?
Yeah, you have to be in the same room primarily.
Okay. The first time you showed that to us a while back, you were talking about being on a cruise and you wanted to
Right.
send something from your picture at a table to somebody else at a table.
Correct. That's the idea. So back to settings. And we're in general. So far, so good. Settings. And then general. The next one I want to cover is iPhone storage or iPad storage. This is how, show you the difference. This, okay. It's how you're utilizing the storage on your device. On my iPad, it says at the top, on my iPad now, not in the cloud, I'm used 32.7 gigabytes of 64 are used. And the little bar graph there shows you how they're being used.
I hate to even ask, but how did you get to here? I just can't seem to find anything.
Settings and
Okay.
general. Go back to settings.
Okay,
So
and
it says settings at the top of your iPhone.
okay, I'm in general and I'm about at the top.
Correct. And there, go down to the third grouping and it says iPad or iPhone storage.
About software update, AirDrop, AirPlay, pictures, CarPlay, iPhone storage. There it is. Thank you.
All right. Now,
Yeah,
if I look down here, right? Here are all my applications and how much space they're taking. So if I want to get rid of the TV app, I could tap it. Now, gets to the question one of you asked earlier. How do you delete it? There it says, delete the app. There's two different options there. One is offload the app, and one is delete the app. Offload the app will remove the application from your device, but keep the documents and data associated with it.
We kind of lost you on that because we don't have TV. What do you press on the item?
That's okay. It doesn't matter. It
Okay,
doesn't matter what application it is.
okay. But you tap that application?
There's books. They all come up the same way.
Okay,
So in general here, I want to, let's say, get rid of the books app. I would delete the app. And it would remove any books I had on my device and the application.
under books and deletes.
If
okay.
I
If
said
I want-
offload the app, it would delete the application, but not the book in this case.
Okay, if I have Gmail, does it mean that my Gmail is on the phone and if I offload it, it won't just vanish, or if I delete it, it vanishes?
Press on that.
I'm not sure what offload is.
That deletes the application. So you no
Offload
longer
does?
have,
Well, then that would give you more megabytes. then.
so you no longer have Gmail on your phone. Let's see if I have Gmail.
Your space too much.
Okay,
Can I search? Can I search this guy? No.
Mine says if I push that you can reinstate your data if you want to have it on though.
Somebody asking a question or you're just not muted?
I'm just saying that I just deleted this one app. I didn't delete it. I uploaded it and I unloaded whatever I did. And it just says you can reinstall it though, and your data
Sure.
will be, right?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
It's just stored basically. But if you put delete, then you have to start all over and you don't have anything that you had, any data.
Offloading the app gets rid of, if you look up at the particular app I have up there, it says the app size is 136 megabytes. The data I have associated with it is 12 kilobytes. If I offload the app, I'll still have the 12 kilobytes on my device. If I delete it, it will remain, it will get rid of the documents and the app.
Okay.
So if you want to get it back, you just do offload app and that, what does that do? Does it help with storage?
Correct. It frees up that storage. So I would free up 136.9 megabytes.
So I have one that's called Showing Time. Has anybody heard of that?
Showtime?
Showing Time.
Okay. I'm not sure what it is.
I'm not either. It was probably a realtor thing.
So just to make sure that I'm not deleting things, I can get it off the phone, but it still will be on my computer or my other devices?
Correct.
Okay,
You go back, I guess, and do the same thing over again, which I just did that. And it says reinstall app underneath the one I just got rid of.
Okay. Let me find an app here and I'll delete it. Let's see. Here's one, City Mark. I don't even know what that is. Right?
What's this?
So if I offload the app, okay, now the app is gone and that space is available for other use. I could reinstall it right here.
Yeah.
If I deleted the app, it would remove that data as well.
Yeah,
And that's where it may be a problem. It's, you know, if you're playing solitaire and you delete the app, the game you're on is still saved. So you reinstall solitaire and you can continue with that particular hand of solitaire. If you delete the app and the data, which is the latter choice, that deletes the particular hand you're on plus the app. So you have to be a little careful when you're deleting the app and data so that it's not something you need on this device. Now, if it happens to be something like mail, that mail is saved other places. But you have to be aware of that when you're doing it. Okay?
So how do you see it again if you want to reinstall it? I guess you have to know what one you got rid of, or you have to
You have
go
to-
after it.
You have to know the name of the app you got rid of, right?
Okay, because it's gone. You could free up an awful lot of space by doing this, couldn't you?
Yep. There's an option here at the top of the screen. It says, oh, they don't have that anymore. Oh. If you're hurting for space, they have suggestions for me is to get rid of the movie I have downloaded. I'm not sure what your suggestion is.
Get rid of what?
I have a downloaded movie, a video. I could remove them, or one or more.
It's not alphabetical, is it? However, MBable,
Much-
the most taking up is first.
That's correct. If you want to go to an alphabetical listing, we'll talk about that a little later.
Bill, I have
Or
HSN, which I really don't care about. So if I offload the app, I'm just offloading whatever junk I looked at. And then I still will have the HSN to use.
say that again, please.
I have HSN on my phone and I wanted to practice what you said. So by pressing offload, am I deleting the junk I looked at, but I still will have the app? I guess I'm kind
I
of,
don't have HN.
well,
No, no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. If you
Okay.
delete, you can delete the app or you
Yeah.
can delete the app and its associated data.
Oh,
You can't keep the app and just get rid of the data. You cannot do that.
oh. Okay.
I think when you go back to get the app, the next time you may want it, and you go for it, you will find out that you already have it. And you can reinstate it, correct?
I don't think so, Ann.
Well, like I just deleted a Realtor app. And if I decide to go back into real estate and need it, I was looking, I could look for it and go for it. And then try to install it and it would say reinstall. In other words, you already have it on there, right?
Where did you go to look for it?
Well, it's an app that says somebody says, okay, you need this app, go get it. And so I go to get it in the app store and it says
let me
reinstall
clarify.
instead of get.
I need clarification. When you say you want to get it, where do you go to get it?
To the app store.
Okay, you're right.
May I ask a question about your storage and so forth? If you have items on an app, but you want to delete just what's on the app, but not the app, can you do that?
I
No,
believe you can open the app and delete it within the app, probably.
Thank you. The system that we're talking about right now,
Say again, please.
what we're talking about now, you have to delete the app to delete just the items that are in. It deletes the app and the items that
That's
are
correct.
associated
That's
with it.
correct. We're just trying to save the space on your device. The whole intention here.
So you could basically go back and delete everything that was not 23. And you'd be deleting a whole bunch of stuff that you don't use much. And if you needed it again, you could go get it, correct?
Correct.
Is this a great way to get rid of stuff so that you can have more gigabytes on your devices?
That's what it's for.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm looking at my phone and I see something called Keynote. What is that?
That's a PowerPoint from Apple, isn't it?
I don't know what it is. I'm just wondering whether I want to delete it or.
Well, if you don't use it, go ahead and delete it. If you don't use it,
Presentation program, like PowerPoint.
Okay,
you can always go get it again from the App Store.
okay. All right, thank you.
And while I'm there, I just want to make sure everybody knows how to do that. All right?
Bill,
Okay.
I just have a question. I have a lot of room. I mean, I have a 128 gigabyte thing. And I only have 30 used, so I don't have to delete anything, right?
Correct. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's kind of silly to delete stuff that I don't know for sure if I ever want. I can just leave it. Okay.
All right. Since this is a beginning class, we all should know how to get something from the App Store.
Bill, if you delete from your iPhone, will it automatically delete from your iPad if they're connected?
No,
That's a good question.
no, it will not. So if I go to the App Store here, So I've opened up the App Store. I can do it on both devices. It's the A made up of popsicle sticks is what I usually call it. Blue background, white popsicle sticks. And if we go to, and at the bottom of the screen, whenever you, this is more of a general thing that I want to make sure all of you understand. When you open a new app, usually there's a couple of things. At the bottom of the screen, there's usually some controls. I call it a table of contents. So for in this case, the App Store, it says today, those are the stuff that Apple's pushing today. Then they have games. Then they have apps. I believe that's apps other than games. I'm not sure of that, but it's apps. There's arcade. And the last one there is search. 90% of the time I go to search.
Me too.
95. Right? So I'm going to go to search. And there's a great area at the top of the search menu, right? That says games, apps, stories, and more. If I tap there and I put in the name, I'm going to put in tape measure, T-A, well, no, let me put level. Level, right? So I'm looking for a game or an item called level, and I do a search. And now I'm looking at all the, by the way, how many apps are there? Anybody know?
Millions.
2 million.
There's millions of apps, 2 or 3 million of them. Okay. And they have many of them here, Bubble Level, Pocket Bubble Level 2022. So there's a whole bunch of different level apps. And then, of course, there's some games. And then there's the Stanley level. Right? So you can get any of these. The icons there tell you something. The little icons that I'm talking about are the ones right here. The one that looks like a cloud and a down arrow says to me, Bill, you had this one, but you deleted it. So Ann could go look for the ones with a cloud on them to see which ones she had that one before. I had this one before. If it says get with in-app purchases, that means it's free, but it's going to do commercials somewhere through it. If it says a price here, that's how much it's going to charge you for it. And here's one, get no in-app purchases. That was pretty nice.
When it says price, is it one-time price or something else? How do you know?
Most of them, it will say subscription or not. If it's a subscription, you're going to get charged at the subscription rate.
Thank you.
Right? And if it says open, that means you already have that app on your device. And by tapping on open, it will open it. You already downloaded the device on the application on your device. And if it says update, that means there's been a new release or an update to the device, to the application you have. Okay? Now everybody hopefully has that understood. I'm going to tap cancel there at the top of the screen.
We're not in that purchase stuff. Yeah, I was here.
And up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little picture or silhouette of a person or your picture. And if you tap that, it comes up and you can now look at the subscriptions you might have. Yeah, the purchased apps you have are the two I'd like to focus on. And my purchased apps are right here. And here, and I have all apps suggested, not on the iPad. Those are ones that I purchased before and deleted. I've got all these apps that I had on my device at one time and the other and chose to delete them. So in the example Ann had, she could go here and see the app that she deleted, and then guess what? She could download it again using that cloud with an arrow coming out the bottom.
We have yoga classes, and he's saying she can download it. Must have blocked it.
I don't know if I have any subscriptions. I hope not. No, I don't have any subscription. Oh, yes, I do.
I have one
Right.
to Disney. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's 69.
Yes.
Oh, Disney, yeah.
Yeah, and it renews July 3rd. Should I get rid of it?
If you don't use it,
What is it
That's
for?
pardon me,
What is it for?
it's to get to the Disney Channel on, for example, your television.
Okay, it's not just movies, though. What else is Disney?
I haven't been there recently, so
So how do I get rid of
It's-
it?
it's movies and program. And that's what I was going to explain to you. You see where it says Apple TV? If I tap the little arrow here, right, and I scroll down here, it says cancel subscription. They make it so easy to cancel a subscription. Okay,
So if I cancel Disney, that means I don't get something on my TV?
that's correct. You won't be able to get the Disney Channel Plus. I think it's Disney Plus.
I think it is Disney Plus, and it's
Yes.
$110 per year. And I don't think I watch it for much. Is there anything on it any good?
Well, the reason I think you got it was, what was the name of the program? It was the one about the Constitution. It was on television.
Hamilton, it was Hamilton. Hamilton,
Say again, please.
Hamilton.
That's
Oh,
right.
See Hamilton.
Oh,
Yeah,
So you could go and get it again if you wanted to go and see another show that they produced.
well, yes. But don't get, if you're gonna do it that way, don't get the annual subscription, get the monthly.
I'm canceling.
Okay. All right. Any questions about the app? Application.
go in the app store and buy whatever.
Okay, I'm going back to settings. So if everybody could go back, go to your home screens and then go to settings.
Mhm.
You want to cover updates? I know you're up to date, but some people might not be.
Thank you, Bill. I will do that. So I go to settings and then general. Apple frequently comes out with an update to their operating system to correct bugs, to add security, etc. So if you tap software update, I'm tapping it on both. So I've gone to settings, general, and then software update. The first thing you'll notice there is I have automatic updates turned on, which means your device, if I tap it, right, download iPad OSs and install iPad OSs, automatically install software updates overnight after they have been downloaded. So I have both of those turned on both my devices. I also have security responses and system files turned on. Okay? Just want to have those turned on. So if you plug in your iPhone or iPad overnight, at some point when they come out with a new operating system, it will update your device. What I mean by at some point, they're going to come out with it on whatever date. Let's say it's July 15th. You won't get the update probably on July 15th. You know, there's how many millions and millions of devices that are all clamoring to try to get an update overnight, and Apple can't do them all at once.
What is
So what
beta
happens,
What is beta updates on your screen?
that's if you want to get a release of a operating system before they fully announce it. If you wanted to play with something ahead of time.
Okay. It's not everything that everyone has, right? I mean, I don't have that, so I don't know.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
I think I got a beta release one time. And then they said, "Do you want another one?" All right.
Bill, I have this picture set for some reason on automatically. I don't know if I should unset it from automatically or if I would ever use it.
Where are you?
So right down where you were, one down, the airdrop.
Okay, I'm
Airplane.
not there right now. Let me get back to that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so everybody should have automatic updates turned on. If you want to get an update without waiting, there's usually an option to get it. Okay, I'm up to date, so I don't have any option to get it. So you should have 16.5.1 on your device. If you have a more recent device. If you have an older iPad or older iPhone, you may not be able to get 16.5.1. All right. You're looking at picture.
Yes, I don't even know what it is, but for some reason, it turned on where it says start PIP automatically. Do I want to keep it green or do I want to turn it off?
I have not used it. When this is on, video will continue playing in overlay when you press the home button. So if you're playing a video on your device and you want to go look at something else, it will continue playing the video in a small box on your screen.
Oh, that's
A
okay.
reduced size window if you tap it. And you can go do something else and it remains active and you can see the video, albeit smaller, on your device.
Well, it's so small now, I don't think I could see it any smaller.
Is there a
Okay.
relationship to that? Is there ever a point where you can pause the video and then go back to it?
Sure. When you're looking at a video, there's some controls on it. Background app refresh. Okay, I think I have it turned off on both my devices.
Okay.
The
At least you
reason
can do that. I do that with my regular TV all the time.
The reason I have it set, okay,
We lost you. How do you get?
I-
the video?
two things happen when you have background app running, background app refresh running. One, it uses your battery life in the background. So you might be low on battery life and you don't want to be doing it. The second is if you have it set up on your iPhone. See, I'm on my iPhone, so look at the picture of my iPhone there. And you'll see it says background app refresh Wi-Fi. Right? If I have it set to background app refresh on Wi-Fi and cellular, and I'm on the road somewhere, and they came out with an update for a particular application, I would get an automatic update using my cellular data points or data. Using what I pay for a certain amount of it every month. And so I really don't need to get updates on the app using my data points.
Right.
Let it wait till I get on a Wi-Fi network. Okay. So the two features here you have to be cognizant of, or should be, is do I want to do background app refreshes? To use, it uses my battery. So I'm going to turn it on my iPad. And the second is, if you have a cellular capability on your device, I usually don't like to have it done while I'm on cellular. So I just say do it on Wi-Fi. Okay?
In other words, you shouldn't have it off.
No? If you want to conserve battery, yeah. Don't have it on. You know, I have it on both my devices. But I have it on my phone to only happen when it's on Wi-Fi.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Now, there's a bunch of other things there, time and date, keyboard, trackpad and mouse, gestures.
So if there's certain items that you don't use, should you take off that refresh thing to save it? Like we don't read books on our phones. So should we do that?
I'm not sure what you're saying there.
No,
Well, I
all
would-
these are green refresh and you said it's using our battery. And if we don't use books, should we shut that off?
Yep, you can do that. You can also say, you can delete the books app.
Oh, okay. And my friend was asking and I don't use it either. Thank you.
But it's for more than books, right?
What is?
It's for more than books. Yes, it's for all apps, but you can go through and selectively say, I don't want to download books.
You can also use the Books app to download PDFs into the Books app.
I'm not sure.
It's easier to read in the Books app.
I would imagine it's not going to download a book unless you specify you want to get it.
Does not give you a book that you have on another device either. It's a different book altogether. I learned that the hard way.
And the books aren't, you're saying, Leah, you're saying that the book If
I
you
have-
download it on the device, it does not download or does download it on the other device.
I also have Nook and Kindle. To go to books, I cannot get those books off of, I can't read the ones that are on the book, on the Nook and Kindle through
Right.
their books app on the phone.
With the books app, that's correct.
Yeah, so if you use Hoopla or something and you never
You have
use,
to use the Nook, you
Yeah.
have to use the Nook app.
Yeah.
Or the Kindle app.
Buy different books. You can have another book to read, but you can't read the one you have.
I think
you
No,
read
I'm
their
confused.
books. You read their books, which they have in their library.
yeah. Apple has a books app from which
Yeah.
they have a library.
They have a
Nook
library.
has a book app
Mhm.
At some
from
point,
which
you
they
have
have
to-
a library. The two are not interchangeable. It's two different library rooms.
Right.
All right. Let's
some of
everybody
the
go
books
back.
on the book app you have to purchase to be able to read them.
Not. You don't have to purchase all the books.
No,
You
not all
pay
of them.
You don't have to pay something for books. All of them, but some you have to pay for, sure.
Thank you.
I'd like everybody to go back to the home screen, change gears a little bit here. And since you're at the home screen, two Polish truck drivers were barreling along when they came up on an overpass. The sign says clearance 11 feet 2 inches. So they stopped the truck, got out, measured their truck, and realized that their truck was 11 feet 6 inches. 11 feet 2, 11 feet 6. So the Polak looks at the second Polak and says, I don't see any cops around. Let's go for it. Okay. Let me change gears here. I want to show you something called the control center. And if you put your finger on the edge of your device up here on the right and pull down, you get something called the control center. The same goes for your iPhone. Put your finger at the top and pull down. Now, if that doesn't work for you, you put your finger at the bottom of the screen and pull up. But I think that works on most devices now. That has changed over time. Okay? This is called the control center. Everybody get that? Yes, has a control center?
Yes.
Good. And there are different items there. For example, the control center is there, by the way, for easy access to multiple functions. And the functions that are easy access to are listed. For example, if I wanted to put my device in airplane mode, don't do it now. Right? You put your device in airplane mode, I guess you can, I can't. Else I'll lose the screens. So you can put it in airplane mode, you can turn on and off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. Yep, okay. If you have music lined up, you could play it there by tapping the arrow. A little lock, see the lock there? And the hasp, if you look real close, you can see the hasp is open or closed. If you turn that on and close the hasp and you rotate your device will not rotate.
Oh, would you show me that again, please? Because my device is not rotating.
That's because it's red. It may
That's
not rotate in
arrow
all
is red. The
And
lock
it may not
arrow.
rotate. And it may not rotate on all screens.
Well, just so
It's
I
just
understand, you're asking me to turn it off?
If you want to rotate on the applications that allow you to rotate, you turn it off so it's not red by just tapping it.
That's why I couldn't rotate my pictures, right? Or when I was on a screen, I couldn't turn it over sideways and make it a sideways picture, right?
If that was red, yes. So I
Thank
have
you.
it on now. So I'll go to my pictures. And I'll rotate. And it changed. You didn't see it change, but it did. Okay, so that's what allow it to rotate. If you bring up the control center, and now it will not rotate when you're looking at your pictures, for example.
Bill, I just pushed screen mirroring. Yours is lit, mine is not, and it's
I hope so. That's the way
okay.
I'm showing you what's going on my device.
Oh, okay. Mine is just going around in circles and I can't get out of it. Is that when it's the screen mirroring?
Close the control center and then open it back up again. Press the home button or flick up.
Okay, thank
Get
you.
rid of the control center and then bring it back.
All right, thank you. Well, learn something every time.
Right now, this particular icon here that we're looking at, that we're mentioning, this one. Right now, I'm projecting my iPhone and my iPad onto my computer. The screen you're looking at is one of the screens on my computer. So that's why that's on. You can project your device to your television if you have a smart TV. So if you have a smart TV and you bring up the smart feature where you can select a particular Showtime and Netflix and Disney Plus and Paramount Plus, whatever, you have those little apps listed. One of them is Apple. If you tap on the Apple application on your TV, and then you go to the control center on your device and hit this little box, your TV will say, hey, the device wants to communicate with me. Here's a number. And that number you'll enter on your phone or your tablet or iPad. And your tablet will be projected onto the television. So it's a cool feature. If you want to watch a movie on your phone, you project it onto the television and it's full size.
Hey, Bill,
The next item I want to cover here is the brightness. And you can adjust the brightness of your device by bringing it down and up. And I think the one on your device is your volume, is that correct? Beside the brightness,
Yes.
okay? You can adjust the volume there. So if you can't hear me, you bring up the control center and bring up the volume and you'll be able to hear me better. If you're playing the sound through your iPhone or iPad.
Bill, you have something on the screen under focus that I don't have. I assume you added it, and I'm assuming it's a scanner. It's the one right under the focus.
Mine says focus, yours says focus.
Yes, under your focus, underneath you have another box and it looks like it must be a scanner. But you must have added that because I don't have that scanner on mine. And I would like to scan things. Is that something you added on your own and it popped up there?
You're talking about, we're talking about the phone?
on your cell phone picture, you've got the focus with the little moon, and then underneath, yes, did you add that? Is that a scanner, and did you add it?
We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
Okay,
Bill,
Yeah,
where
I'm
you
gonna
have
skip-
focus, why do you
Pardon
have
me?
focus and I have personal on? Where
What are
you,
you talking?
where you have focus on your phone, I have personal on. Why?
Mine says do not disturb.
I don't want to get into focus. It used to be do not disturb. If you tap it, it shuts off all external capability of communicating with your device. All right. So you can't get phone calls, or you won't get messages and things like that, notifications. They expanded do not disturb and called it focus. And so you could change it to do not disturb, but I'm not going to do that. And I don't want to get into that right now. It's too much detail. Okay. But it's do not disturb mode. Just if you don't play with it, you're okay. If you want to learn about do not disturb, we'll talk about it at some other time. You'll notice on my iPad and my iPhone, there are a list of applications that are also associated with your device. Somebody mentioned this one. It's called Scan. And I have it on both my iPhone and my iPad. I have something called the flashlight there. And if I tap that, the flashlight on the phone will come on. And if you have one on your iPad, it will come on there. It shows me my battery level. That just shows me a battery, not the actual level. And if I tap it, oh, it tells me the mode I'm in. Right, low power mode, on or off. Okay, there's a little calculator there. So there's a bunch there. The question you might have is, how come you have some that I don't, or I have some that you don't? There's a way to adjust those. Now, based on what I've taught you so far, how would I change the way the control center works?
Settings. Say that again, please.
How would I change the way the control center works? The answer is, yeah. Somebody said settings. Thank you. So we go to settings. And I want to change the way control center works, and there's control center. So I tap control center, and I'll go to it on both the iPhone and the iPad. Yeah. All right. And down below here, it says included in control center. Now, many people think that the minus signs mean that it's not there. The minus sign, the red circle with a minus sign in it, means that if you tap it, it will remove it. And so I have code scanner there. See it? If I wanted to remove that, I tap it and it says remove. And it's removed and placed into the more controls that I have on my device. So you get the plus sign down here, and it gets added as a plus sign up above. Right? So if I want to remove the code scanner, I hit the minus sign, remove. I can come back down here and add it. Anytime you get a list of stuff and you tap edit, this is the way it probably will work. It will show you a list of the things that you have there with a minus sign beside them. And it will show you a list of things you don't have that have a plus sign next to them.
Is the code scanner work like, I've never used a scanner before. Is it like a real scanner?
It's my code scanner looks like that.
And what do you do? Go into a store and put it over something to see how much it costs?
That's one of the things it's used for, sure. Okay,
Is that not a QR code scanner?
this one does not happen. I don't think it is a QR. I'm not sure. I haven't used it in a while, so. If I tap it, let's see what it looks like. Control center. Code scanner. That's going to be a QR code. Here, let me pull one up. Okay. No, I don't think it may not be a barcode reader. Let me try a barcode. See if I can find one here. Where is it? Just a minute. No, it's a QR reader only.
And then what does it do for you after you do that?
When
Like,
you hold a QR code, like one you see in a newspaper or one that I have here, when you hold it, it takes you to a website automatically.
is that your next home, Aqua?
Yes, oh yeah.
Takes you to a website that's related to where the code sign is.
Yeah, the QR code takes you to a particular site. I have one for the circus, I have one for Aqua there, etc.
Well, if you wanted the regular kind of scanner, not necessarily today, but at one of our meetings, could you recommend some scanners? Because I would like to get a good quality one on my phone, please.
Let me diverge a minute.
They're using the code scanners on the television an awful lot now. The news will say, if you want further information about this, scan the QR code.
Places that are charitable giving places have QR codes on their screen.
You can just use the camera app to be able to access the QR code.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
even
can
on
use
the,
the
when it's
cam-
on a TV, you can.
And you can just use the camera app. Oh no, they want to charge me? Huh. Hmm.
The phone to use, for you to use your
Oh, yes.
phone and the QR code to take a picture of your QR, you have to go to the little device that we're on, the section that we were on, that
No, you
pull
can
down
take,
the
you can,
corner and it shows it. You have to have one on your phone.
We have a survey system where I am, and the dining facilities have a little QR code. And I can just take the phone app, and when I put it near the QR code, it comes up with a little yellow link to wherever that actual survey is. I touch that and it takes me to where I want to go. And the same thing would apply if you're doing a donation or something. So you don't need a You have to get close to the QR to have the QR come up, but you can do it.
What Bill's talking about is this. I have the camera app open with all my fingerprints in the back there. If I come down here, there's the QR code. And you see where it says the text? All I need to do is tap that. And it takes me to that site. So you don't need an app for the QR codes, is what Bill's saying. Okay?
Thank you.
For the barcodes, I used to have an app that did it. Now they want to charge a fee for it. So we're gonna have to do some research on that one.
Top part of you don't have the screen up anymore. There's a device that's in blue with white that looks like it's a triangle, sort of. One triangle on top of another. What is that for?
Rectangle or triangle?
It looks like it's a triangle with an extended side put together. Go to your item that you had on where you pull it down, pull the screen down. In that left-hand corner, you've got the airplane. Diagonally down is the blue circle with that device in it. What does it mean? What is it for?
You're talking about this guy?
Yes.
That's Bluetooth.
Oh.
Doesn't it look like two teeth in a blue background? I'm kidding. Okay.
Look like teeth.
Okay. So you could, if you're after QR codes, put the camera app in your control center. And so there is the picture of the camera in my iPad control center. I just tap it, it happens. All right. The other thing we want to talk about in settings, so we covered settings, control center, is something called notifications. Now, what are notifications? Notifications are little icons that appear on your screen at the top or at the center of the screen and give you some information about something that just happened with one of your applications. In the control center, if you put your finger on the top right and pull down, you get something called the notification center.
Wait a minute.
Okay. And these are notifications you get from various applications.
But Bill, you said from the right hand, you have to pull down from the left.
Left.
I'm sorry, did I say right, Bill or Jim?
You
Put
said
your
right.
finger up here, or up here, and pull down. And it gives you all the notifications you've received. Okay, it says I got a voicemail from Ann. Okay. For example. Got the idea? So how do you control what goes in here? Because I have a lot of stuff.
What are
do you
badges?
control?
Badges, is that different than banners?
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, here's the control center. Lots and lots of information there. And what it is every once in a while, an application ends up saying, hey, you just got this piece of news. And it puts it in the control center. I'm sorry, in the notification center. Now you have some control over all those banners that come up, all these. And the kind of control you have is whether or not you're going to be notified when you get one. So I'm going to go to settings and notifications. Now I don't have scheduled summary turned on, where it will give me a notification about a bunch every once in a while. I could control that. I have announced notifications turned off. So I don't get, you have a notification from something, right?
Where are you seeing these notification styles, announced code of notifications?
I went to settings, notification is where I am.
Okay, I've got schedule summary, show previews, and screen sharing notifications.
Yes.
So I don't understand what you're talking about from there.
Okay, I have schedule summary turned off. Show previews is turned on. So it actually gives me a sentence about what the notification is about. And screen sharing is turned off. I have announced notification turned off because I don't want Siri bothering me. And Siri suggestions, I just don't use that particular feature. Okay. The main thing I want to point out to everybody, if you have yours set that way, is every application that's capable of giving me a notification is listed here. Now, I have a different set of apps than you do, but we probably all have the App Store. We also have the Apple Store where you can go buy a new phone, for example. So I'm just going to pick the App Store for a minute. And do I allow notifications from the App Store? No, I turned it off. So that every time the App Store wants to tell me something that would tell it to me, I can turn it off. And you'll notice if I go down through my list here, most of them are off. If I go to my calendar, it says I get a banner, a sound, and a badge.
Bill,
How did I get? How did I get
that?
that?
Off? Most of them off because it's just an arrow.
You're not showing this on your screen.
What?
What you're doing.
Yeah, it's on the screen.
We can't see whether they're on or off, just the arrow.
That's all we're
Correct.
seeing.
There's a
Correct.
little word under each one.
I'm
Like it
talking
says
about the
brain
little
test
word.
off.
Thanks, Bill. Right here, banners, sounds. This one's off. This one I have set this way. Chat I have set that way. Cloud library is set that way. Now you have the little arrow there.
Are you ready to change?
If you tap, let's everybody go to calendar. Everybody goes to calendar. Click on calendar. And it says allow notifications. If I had turned that off, it would have said off. And then I have to scroll down and set, how do I want to get that notification? Do I want to get it if I'm on my lock screen? I say yes. Do I want to put it in the notification center? In other words, if I pull down that list, it's in that list. And do I want it to show up as a banner on the top of the screen? And so it would show up at the top of the screen when I get the notification. And if I choose to have the banner on, says banner style. Right? Do I want it to be persistent? And if I tap the little arrow there, it can be persistent or temporary. I have mine all set on persistent. If you have it set for temporary, like so, it will come down, make a sound, and then by the time you go look at it, it will disappear. So I make it persistent so that it makes a sound. It comes down from the top of the screen, and I have to flick it away after I've read it.
Now, does this mean on each of these things we can set up a sound for it?
Yes, and here's the sound you can set up. You can say, I have different sounds for different notifications. Now that's going to get confusing, so I just have mine making the circle sound. Okay?
And is this a page where we can set this stuff up, or is there somewhere else?
It's this page where you set it up for each application.
Okay.
So there's the one for calendar. See, it says calendar at the top here.
Uh-huh.
If I go back, then I would set it up for another app. And another app. And another app.
Hey, Bill,
Go ahead.
I have a question. It's Richard. When you have notifications, let's say for text from people with Android phones, is it capable of going to an Apple phone?
Okay, you found an app. What's the application you're on?
It's either a text or Messenger, a text coming from an Android phone to my Apple phone in either Messenger or text. I don't think we have a text. I think it's just Messenger. Is that correct?
No, there's two apps there. One is called Messages. That's the Apple messaging app. And Messenger is, as you said, what is it? The Android?
Yeah, it's an Android texting me, and it doesn't give me notifications,
But it used
and I
to.
don't know why.
You just have to say that it used to.
There's also something called Messages from WhatsApp. I have, okay? So I can get messages from any one of those three.
Oh.
And
Okay.
how do you, is there a notification for a particular person texting you or calling you? Is that on this
No,
list?
this is in general.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Bill, you can help me with this one. If I don't have the Messengers app and somebody sends me a message using my Apple ID, it will come into Messages. Is that right?
Yes, if they do it, I think they have them as different colors. The ones that are through
Okay.
Apple and the ones that are not, but
Yeah.
they all come in.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
they're
that's the way you
just,
said it.
yeah, it comes into the Messages app, and then depending on what the source is, they might be a different color.
Okay.
I have a question in that regard. So you're telling me if I delete my Messenger app, then they will come in through Messages? So I don't have to use two different apps?
No.
I believe that if they're using the right ID, if they're using your Apple ID, it will come into the Apple app.
Oh, but if they're using my Android app or Android ID, like my Gmail account or something, then it wouldn't.
If that's what the IDs are, yes.
Okay, all right, thanks.
I have both messages and Messenger, and I'm understanding that there are two different operations and two different companies doing them.
Correct.
And the messenger, you can design to be a very personal kind of thing, such as just your family or just your business. And the messages is anybody who sends you a message.
No, that's not true.
So wait,
When they send a message, they're using an ID. The ID is the one you use on messages or the one you use on Messenger. So it's like if you have two post office boxes, which one are you sending it to?
Messages is a text messaging system and it's supported by Apple. Messenger, I believe, is a Facebook messaging system.
that's what I understand. You can devise, what we have is it's just for our family. Well, there are other messengers.
But that's because you're using the Facebook Messenger app, not the Apple
Right.
Messages app.
That's confusing.
Then there's also messages, which is anybody can send you a message.
It's all associated with the ID.
Okay.
Okay. Well, one thing, Bill, this is a cool one. What, can you have the same ID for messages and Messenger? And then what happens?
I think Messenger, it depends on what system you're using to send in messages. The SMS text messaging system will go to messages. If they use the Facebook app to send messages, they'll come through on Messenger. So
Okay.
you may have similar IDs, but it depends on, like both Android and Apple can deal with SMS text messages.
Okay. But if I'm using an Android and I only have the Messages app. I'm
You
sorry,
will get,
somebody else is using Android.
yeah.
And I have.
If I have somebody using Android on the outside and Android is capable of sending an SMS text message. So if they send it to me, it will come in on my Messages app. The only time things will go to.
What if you have an Android app on your phone? And a Messages app? Which one will it come to?
First of all, Android doesn't have an app for the iPhone that I'm aware of.
I have Messenger here.
You have Messenger, you got it from Facebook, and it
Right.
uses Facebook stuff. So whatever your IDs are for Facebook is what Messenger will use. And if you send from one messenger system to another messenger system, it will just go through that network, even though you might have the same phone number on both. If you send an SMS text, Android, it will come through on Messages.
So if I send it from FaceTime, it's going to go to Messenger, unless
It's
I
going to
don't
go to
have
Messenger because both people with FaceTime will have Messenger as their app internal to FaceTime.
Right. Never mind. We're confusing everybody out.
Yeah. You can also, when my daughter was in Mexico, there's another one that they use very heavily in Mexico called WhatsApp. And that's
Right,
a whole separate messaging system. I have it also.
Yeah. But I think my ID is the same for both. which is interesting. Anyway, notifications. Anybody have any other questions on notifications? What you should is go down through, if you're going to use notifications, in other words, you have it turned on clear at the top. All right. And you should go down through this list and determine which ones, turn most of them off, and just determine which ones you really want to get notifications from. And then you adjust that notification accordingly. So I want to get one from here, daily crossword puzzle, right? And I go through and I say, well, I want to get it on the lock screen. I want to put it in the notification center, and I want it to send me a banner temporarily. I'm going to make it persistent. And I want it to make a sound. Okay? Get the idea, everybody? So that's the notification center.
Are you open to questions from previous, from like an hour and a half ago?
I don't know if I can remember it because.
Well, I'm looking at my notes to make sure what I'm talking about. We were talking about preventing websites from tracking us, and we cleared
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
Well, I just tried to get into my Wordle, and it's totally different. So obviously I wiped everything out, my history's gone, and now it's asking me for my password to get into something. So by turning everything off, I'm now locked out.
So you went into Safari? Wait a
Yeah, I
minute,
went
did you go
into
into Word?
Safari. Yes.
No.
Normally when I would go into Safari, my,
Did you go to Wordle and delete the data associated with Wordle?
no, I didn't delete. I just went in and I did your second option where you said clear history and website data.
That shouldn't affect Wordle.
Because what I used to do for Wordle was go into Safari and
Oh.
then it would,
Really?
yeah,
You don't have an app called Wordle?
no,
It's
no,
interesting.
it
Okay.
was just part of Safari. Safari
Okay.
would bring up my previous or my favorites or whatever. And so every day it would just be there. But now it's only showing me Google things. And I have this
So
new
is it
start
Wordle?
page.
Is it Wordle.com or something like that you went to?
It would be New York Times.
It's cleared out all the cookies.
Okay, so you go to New York Times. And then you get the daily Wordle from New York Times. Is that what you do?
Right. Oh, yep. Okay. See what now this is telling me it wants me to download a Google app, but I've never had an app in the past.
A Google app or an Apple app?
Google.
Okay, so you went to Safari. And you went to New York Times?
Yes. Yeah. And it comes up with how to play. But all my previous statistics are gone.
And you logged into the New York Times and they're gone? You logged into the New York Times?
I'm not sure, but I suspect what happened is the New York Times website was keeping
Was
track of
using-
how many games she played and her login information. And so
Right.
when you cleared all the website data, you cleared that, so you're back as a new player.
I think you're probably right. Yeah. It just very surprised me when everything was gone. But yeah, I'm sure that's what happened.
yes.
So in the future, now that I've cleared all the junk away, now I need to take your first option for stopping the tracking and do them individually.
Correct.
Okay. And that should probably be a thing you do like every day or every other day, just to keep up with it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good class.
Challenging, yes. All right.
Bill?
Any other questions? Yes, go
Yes,
ahead.
I missed your, somehow or another in trying to find it, I missed the privacy stuff. Is this something you'll be sending us in your notes?
Privacy stuff.
Weren't you covering privacy at some point?
Find it here.
Privacy and security.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
I will cover that next time, starting next time, privacy and security.
Okay, it's not something, yes, that's, you don't, when you send us notes, this is not part of what your notes are?
Correct, correct. We got in there because we were going to tracking.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
It's next
And
week.
you can allow, and then go down here to New York Times and click it. Okay,
What's next week?
all right. If there isn't any other questions next week, you see what we're going to have. Mhm. My internet speed is diminished here.
Next week, you have Apple Store contacts and phone calls.
Thank you.
Welcome, it's in the
And pri-
monitor. By the
And privacy. To your Apple Store, which we covered today, actually, but we can do it again. Contacts, calendars, and privacy. Okay? Everybody?
Apple Store contacts, unless there was supposed to be a comma in there, and phone calls. And then July the 15th is messages.
Yeah, but we're talking about next week. Apple Store, contacts, phone, and privacy, which we just added. Okay?
Right.
Any other questions? Have a good week, everybody. See
you
you
very
next
much.
time. Stay cool. Everybody's looking down. Hello, hello. Take care, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good week.
You too.
Thank you, Bill.
Have a great 4th.
Yep. See ya.